Today I'll be sharing with you 8 steps that would help you stop your KDP books and even KDP account from getting blocked. So if you've been around the KDP space for a while now, you would notice that since the past couple of months now, I'd say maybe about 3 months now, maybe since March, April, there has been Amazon KDP has been on a book blocking spree, and it hasn't been funny at all, because I belong to a lot of groups on Telegram and all, and you keep hearing people complaining, oh, Amazon blocked my book, oh, Amazon blocked my book, oh, Amazon blocked my book. And when you ask them, what did you do, what happened, some of them will tell you, oh, I don't know what happened, or just blocked it. Or some will say they don't know what happened, but maybe if they show you their title or something, you would have a best guess as to what might have happened. So based on all of the complaints I've been seeing online, I was able to come up with about 8 things that I feel are one of the major causes that could get your books or even accounts blocked by Amazon. And the first one, without wasting much of your time, is you need to read the Amazon terms and conditions on their website. This is one place where a lot of people miss it. How can you even consider yourself to be a writer if you won't even read the terms and conditions of the platform where you are uploading your books? Amazon has a list of guidelines, and those guidelines change from time to time. And usually, whenever they update those guidelines, they inform you. So you'll be doing yourself a disservice by not reading the terms and conditions. So that's the very first step. Just make sure you read the Amazon terms and conditions. It keeps changing from time to time. I think the last one that changed was what even caused a lot of people to lose their accounts, lose their books, and all of that. And of course, some of those people had already violated the rules before the change in policy, and it affected them. But at the same time too, there were a lot of people who were yet to publish books that would have saved themselves if they had just gone to read the terms and conditions of Amazon, so that they know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So that's the very first thing. Make sure you read the Amazon terms and conditions. Now, the second one is avoid companion books as much as possible for now. Or if you must publish companion books, you need to put in a lot of work into your companion books, and even that is still not a guarantee that your books will fly. But I've noticed that out of the people that are complaining, if you want to look at it, maybe 70-80% of the books that are being blocked by Amazon are companion books. And what are companion books? Companion books are books that are made as a companion to a major book. It is by itself, the book doesn't do anything. But maybe an author publishes a self-help book, for example, and then after he publishes that book, based on the information in that book, you create something like a workbook, or that will help you better utilize the lessons from the main book, or you create a summary of the book, where without having to buy the main book, you can read the summary and get the information that was in the main book. You understand? So usually companion books usually comprise of summaries and workbooks of that way of, and by itself they can't do much, but you write they are companions to the original book written by someone else. So companion books and summaries used to be one of the ways to blow on Amazon. Those are some of the ways those are the kind of books that sometimes can bring you as much as 20 sales, 30 sales, 40 sales, 50 sales a day. So you find people who publish companion books. Then I used to see a lot of their their sales stats, and you see some of them, some of them can make as much as $500 in a day, probably even $1,000 or more if they are running ads. But when Amazon comes for you, most times they don't survive it. So they make money in the short term, and then before you know it, in the long term, they either lose their accounts or those books end up getting blocked. So personally, I don't publish companion books. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm just telling you that I do not. And And my reason is simple. I just don't want anything that will give me headache in the long term. Yeah, are there people that are publishing companion books and are still making it? Yeah, I still see a couple of people who publish companion books and they are still making money from them. But like I said, if you must publish companion books, you ensure that you do your research properly, you ensure that your content is very rich, because one of the reasons why companion books are often blocked is whenever Amazon blocks a companion book, the most prevalent reason they give is it's going to cause a disappointing customer experience, which means the customer may not get as much value from the book as he thought they would. And that's my interpretation of it. So they block it. So that disappointing customer experience is one of the major things that causes those books to be blocked. There are some people that still publish companion books and it flies, which is why I said maybe if you want to keep on publishing companion books, you need to put in a lot more work into it and continue and just hope for the best. But personally, I run away from companion books at the moment. So let's go on to the third one. Always use a good plagiarism checker to check your manuscript before publishing. This is another problem that a lot of people have. If they don't check properly, sometimes you write a book or you create a book, get your content, and you don't even bother running it through any plagiarism checker online, and you just go ahead and publish the book like that. Amazon has some of the best AIs that will check your book and run it against millions of other works online and what have you. So if your book happens to be too similar with another content somewhere, the AIs that are checking these things are going to flag it. I mean, this is just common sense. So especially if you are creating your book and you got content from, maybe you got some content online or you got some content from some place, sometimes even when you actually wrote it from your head, you still need to run it through a plagiarism checker to at least see what it brings out. Don't just blindly just gather content and go and dump on Amazon. I mean, it can cost you your book, and even, or worst case scenario, your account can be blocked. So please, I'm sure you use plagiarism checker to check your books. And there are a lot of free ones online that work. I think there's some small SEO tools. There is plagiarism-checker.com, and there are also premium ones too, premium services that offer this as well. I think Grammarly does something like that. I think even Quillbot has a plagiarism checker too. So just do your due diligence. There are a lot of them online, but please do not upload a book on Amazon without checking the plagiarism score. So let's move on to the next one. Make your titles as short as possible and avoid keyword stuffing. This is another place where people get into trouble. You find people stuffing keywords into their titles, and if you ask them, their reason is that I want to put in as many keywords as possible so that I can rank the most on, for all those keywords. So if anybody types any of those keywords, my book will show up, blah blah blah. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that. Well, you see, Amazon doesn't really like keyword stuffing. If your title is just stuffed with keywords, your book title needs to flow, it needs to make sense. You understand? So don't just for the purpose of getting keywords, you stuff your book with all manner of words, you fill it up, and then your book is now looking so funny and looking so unorganized. The title should not look like that. The title should be as simple as possible. You want to put keywords, fine. Maybe you put 1, 2, maybe 3 at most, and you put it intelligently such that when you read the book, the title of the book, it flows into the title. It doesn't just, those keywords don't appear to stand out or be out of place. So the keywords you're going to use should be as few as possible, so that if your title flows, and then any other keywords you want to use, you add them, you use them at your 7 backend keywords. I mean, there's a reason why Amazon gave a provision for 7 backend keywords. Any other keywords that you want to put, instead of stuffing them all on your title, you put the rest in your backend 7 keywords. So I think that is already self-explanatory. So let's move on to the next reason. Another reason that could get your book blocked and even your account terminated is making unsubstantiated claims. Amazon doesn't like you making claims, unnecessary, especially claims that cannot be proven. You write a book now, you are claiming that the book has a cure, maybe herbs that can cure HIV, for example, or herbs that can cure cancer, or stuff like that. Amazon will not like, they don't like it, because as far as we know, there is no official, there's nothing official to the cure of such ailments. So if you go and write a book, this thing, it often happens in the health niche. You see people making some claims, cookbook that can stop or reduce cancer, cookbooks that can cure diabetes, cooking recipe to cure diabetes, or what have you. You have things, people making such claims. It doesn't just happen in the health sector, it happens in a lot of other parts as well. People write books, in maybe quote unquote spiritual books, that make some claims that sound so kind of of course we know that anything is possible if you are into spiritual stuff, and if I'm a Christian, I have faith. But if you are going to be publishing your books on Amazon, there are some titles that will just not fly on Amazon. So you need to ensure that you do not make unsubstantiated claims in your book titles, because this is also one thing that could get your books blocked. So please avoid making unsubstantiated claims. So let's go to the next one. Use AI as a tool to assist you, and do not just copy AI content directly to Amazon. Now you see, one of the things that is popular now that people do is using AI to generate content. And as much as it might seem like an easy thing to do, but Amazon also has a lot of AI detectors that can easily check to see if your content was generated by AI or not. And so basically, I mean, if everybody just uses AI to create content and dumps on Amazon, before you know it, Amazon is going to turn into a dumping ground of content that is not original. And because of that, you would find out now that Amazon will even tell you, if you ask when you are publishing your books, when you're uploading your manuscript, they ask you if you use any form of AI to generate content or what have you. You are now mandated to state whether you used or not. So basically, just copying stuff using your AI, maybe like ChatGPT or what have you, to generate your content, and you just compile it into a book and just publish right away, it's going to get you into a lot of trouble, because Amazon is going to know that that content was AI generated. And well, you might argue that there are also there are tools online that can help you humanize the text and make it look appear as though a human wrote it. I haven't used or come across such tools. Even I've heard of some, but I've not really used it. Bottom line is that putting a lot of work into your content, even if you're going to use AI to assist you, ensure that you put in a lot of work. Use it as a tool, more or less. Use it to get ideas, title ideas, chapter ideas, introduction ideas, conclusion ideas, but don't just copy verbatim what AI has given you. It's going to get you into a lot of issues with Amazon. So I think that is enough for that. And the next on the list is avoid using copyright content. And this copyright content could include stuff like your book name, book title, the content of the book, images in the book, and what have you. So this is also another place where a lot of people get into problem. And you find people use, you used a title that was maybe some people practically copy the title of another book on Amazon. You see a book and you want to model. Most times people run into issues when they want to model books. Maybe you see a book on maybe how to lose weight on Amazon, and then you want to model that book and write your own version of the book. You see the title and then you copy the exact same title into your book, and then you think that Amazon is just going to be looking at you like that. Of course, they will flag your book. It could get you into issues. Of course, your book will be blocked. It could even lead to the termination of your account. So use other people's content as ideas. If you see a title, look at how you can model it. Create something that is similar but does not exactly look like that book. The same thing goes for the book cover. If you see a book cover and you like the way it was designed, you go to Canva or whichever book designing tool you use, you could decide to model it. Don't copy verbatim what that person has done. Maybe you could steal one or two designs from it. You know, still like an artist, don't just copy everything and then use your own book and create it. You put your own name on it and you think everything is going to go fine. Even if Amazon doesn't detect that, you know, if your book actually just fly and Amazon doesn't detect on time, the author of the original book, if he comes across your book, could report your book to Amazon that you copied his book and you will be in trouble. So please avoid using copyrighted content like images or the book content. Don't go and copy the content of another person's book and just put in your own and make few modifications and you think that everything will be fine. But people might have read that or the original book and they come to read your own and they are not stupid. They are going to know that this book was copied and it's going to get into issues. So there are a number of sites that you could use to check for copyrighted content, like the titles, for example. Most times it's title keywords you could check online. In subsequent videos I will be providing with some tools, with sites that you could go to that will help you navigate some of these points that I just listed above. So let's go into the next point, which is the last but not the least. Look at Amazon as a long-term business and not just a get-rich-quick scheme. A lot of people just come into Amazon with the idea of just cashing out. They want to cash out sharp, and they don't look at it as a long-term business, which is one of the reasons why people get into trouble. If you are looking at Amazon as a long-term business, there are certain things that you would not do. There are certain books that you will not publish. You're going to put in more work into your books. You're not going to be aiming to publish one book a day, like some people tell you that you publish one book a day, publish 5 books a day. How do you want to publish 5 books a day and those books will be high quality books? It's not possible for us, for God's sake. So you look at it as a long-term business. Just look at it as you are there for the long term. Don't just say you want to just chop and run or you want to just cash out. If you have that mindset, it's going to get you to a lot of trouble. So I think that's all I have for you for this video. If you liked it, kindly subscribe and share this video. At least it's going to help the YouTube algorithm to recommend it to more people, and you're going to help grow this community. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and goodbye.